September 26, 1983. Somewhere deep inside a secret Soviet bunker, alarms begin to scream. On a massive screen, 5 American nuclear missiles appear, heading straight for the USSR. One man stands in front of the console. His orders are clear: report the launch. If he does, within minutes, the Soviets will retaliate, launching hundreds of nuclear warheads toward the United States. The end of the world could begin in less than 10 minutes. But that man Stanislav Petrov didn't press the button, and that single decision might be the only reason you're alive today. In 1983, the world was teetering on the edge of nuclear war. The Cold War wasn't just cold anymore, it was boiling. The US had just called the Soviet Union an evil empire. NATO was planning a massive military exercise called Able Archer, which simulated a full-scale nuclear strike. And just weeks earlier, the Soviets had shot down a Korean passenger jet, killing 269 people, including an American congressman. The tension was off the charts. Both sides were terrified the other might strike first. They were trapped in a logic of mutual assured destruction, where the only winning move was to retaliate with overwhelming force. To get the jump on any potential attack, the Soviets built a brand new state-of-the-art warning system. Its name was Okurashin for the eye in the sky, designed to detect American missile launches instantly. And that's the very system Stanislav Petrov was manning that fateful night. Petrov was a 44-year-old lieutenant colonel, sitting in a secret bunker outside Moscow known only as Serpukhov 15, around midnight. His shift, which was supposed to be routine, was shattered. A warning light flashed bright red. The system detected one missile, launched from a US base. Seconds later, 4 more appeared. Sirens wailed through the command center. Across the control room, a massive screen lit up with a single, terrifying word: launch. Petrov. Duty was simple and absolute. Pick up the phone and confirm to the Soviet High Command that an American nuclear attack was underway. If he did, the protocol was automatic. The leadership would authorize an all-out counterstrike. Within minutes, hundreds of missiles would be soaring toward American cities. But as the alarm screamed around him, something didn't feel right. 5 missiles? It just seemed wrong. Why would the United States, with its thousands of warheads, launch a first strike with just a handful of missiles? It was too small for a decapitation strike, too small to be a credible opening salvo. And the ground radars, the secondary confirmation system, showed nothing. No vapor trails, no electronic signatures, just an eerie silence. He had no proof the system was wrong, only a gut feeling, a nagging doubt that this wasn't how Armageddon was supposed to begin. For 23 agonizing minutes, Petrov sat there, his heart pounding in his chest. Every second that ticked by was a second he was disobeying a direct order. Every instinct as a soldier told him to report what the computer was screaming at him. He had to choose: report the launch and risk starting World War III based on a signal that felt illogical, or disobey his orders. Stay silent and risk being the man who allowed his country to be annihilated without fighting back. The weight of the world was on his shoulders. Finally, he took a deep breath, spoke the words that saved the world. It's a false alarm. He was right. The OCO system, the new eye in the sky, had mistaken the reflection of sunlight off high-altitude clouds for missile launches. It was a glitch, nothing more. But if Petrov had followed protocol, if he had blindly trusted the machine, billions could have died within hours. Civilization as we know it would have ceased to exist. For years, no one outside the Soviet military knew what happened that night. Petrov was quietly questioned by his superiors, and even reprimanded not for preventing nuclear war, but for not filling out his logbook properly during the incident. He was then reassigned and eventually retired, forgotten by the state he had saved. He never saw himself as a hero. In fact, he once said, "I was just doing my job. I was the right person at the right time, that's all." But when the story finally surfaced in the 1990s, Petrov became an unlikely global symbol of human judgment in an age of machines, of conscience in the face of blind obedience. He received awards from the United Nations and various peace foundations. But he lived the rest of his life quietly in a small apartment in Russia, on a modest pension. He passed away in 2017, and his death, like his heroic act, went almost unnoticed by the world he had preserved. History is full of wars, great battles, and terrible conflicts that we study and remember. But sometimes history is defined by the wars that never happened. On one night in 1983, fate of the world came down to one man in a bunker who chose to trust his instincts over a computer. And because of that simple, profoundly human decision, we're all still here. If you believe the world needs to remember stories like this, hit that subscribe button. And let's keep uncovering the incredible moments that changed history, often without anyone even noticing. Thanks for watching.